Yeah, updates are awesome, aren't they?
All right. What is this? Apodcalypse. All right. This is Apodcalypse Now with James and Nick coming at you from Bingen, Washington in the beautiful Columbia River Gorge.
The Bunker Beard Edition.
This is the Bunker Beard Edition. I'm Nick Orr. I play music in Hood River with the West Goats. I've also worked in like some local restaurants you might know. I've worked at Pioneer Pizza, Solstice, and Big River Grill in Stevenson. All great places. You should go get to-go orders from there right now. Well, no, not right now. When you're done listening to this podcast.
Just wait a minute.
This is James Anderson, local comedian, owner of Hood Printing. He's been screen printing in the Gorge for 20-ish something years. So we're riding out the apocalypse here in the Beard Bunker, as you just called it. I like that.
I also am a comedian. I'm a comedian in Hood River.
I just said that.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, well, that's funny.
It shows how well you listen.
I don't listen. Will you shut up? Because it's my turn to talk, please.
So, I'm going to start the podcast first with toilet paper. James, why? Why toilet paper? Where did this start? Did it start with a meme?
I don't know. But
did somebody see someone else buying and like it just like
everyone needs to take it easy on these toilet paper companies because they're swimming in some uncharted waters right now. So nice. we need to take it easy on these guys. Well, they're doing the best they can.
But if you don't have any food, you don't need toilet paper.
Technically, you'd think no. Unless we can adapt to eating toilet paper, and then that could be a thing.
Well, put some sugar on that shit, like a little bit of salt or something. I don't know. Stop.
Get it wet.
Stop panic buying toilet paper, people. It's not going to save you.
Nope.
And that money is probably more useful spent somewhere else. Especially in times like these. These are uncertain economic times.
Technically, you can wipe your ass with money, too, if you really need to. Mm-hmm. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so when money's worthless and we've had a complete and total descent into utter madness, you can also use it to start fires.
True. Yeah, it's very useful stuff.
It is, and there's lots of it. There's a shitload of it out there. There's actually more of it out there than there is wealth to back it up. That's a conversation for another day.
Podcast.
So,
next week,
if you're riding out the apocalypse, we're going to give you some information to help you navigate through the madness. The first thing I want to say is if you don't know already, if you're not familiar with what that virus is, it's the same virus as SARS. It's under a microscope, it looks the same. And this virus is usually exclusive, right, to birds and mammals. And then once in a while, the shit mutates and spreads to people. And then a whole whopping 48 people die from it. Yeah, that's the number. I'm just saying. I'm not an expert, and I'm just saying.
Like, you don't have to stop eating bats, but maybe just for a little while.
So, yeah, is that the bat soup thing? Is that real?
I don't know. That was just something I heard. That's not actual information.
No, it is. That's where it's believed to originated,
yeah.
Right? Is from bat soup. Here's the thing. Bats are mammals, right? Mm-hmm. Probably pretty tasty. Don't you think?
On a different note, the bats, I've heard some statistic just recently where the bats in Vancouver, there was like almost 20% of all the bats in Vancouver, in Canada, all have Vancouver. Rabies, which is the highest percentage anywhere in the world. That's a different note, but
weird.
It's interesting. Bats.
Wonder why.
I don't know.
Maybe like.
Can you get rabies from eating a bat?
I don't know how you get rabies.
Yeah.
It seems like that's something I should know.
Me too.
That's weird. Do you remember that story on NPR? Years ago, they had the real horror stories for Halloween, and it's the story. They play it every year, and it's the one where the lady got attacked by a rabid raccoon.
Yes.
Do you remember that shit?
So good.
That is a terrifying story. She said it just made eye contact with her and just bolted towards her. Like, that's fucking crazy. So rabies is real shit, people. Rabies will fuck you up. That's the real apocalypse. We still have beer. You wouldn't have beer if it was a rabies apocalypse.
There's a lot of beer in the grocery stores, I was noticing. So if you don't have toilet paper,
what, you going to use a beer can?
No, you just drink your problems away, man.
Okay, so here's some other information about the apocalypse. So Texas, Nebraska, Idaho, and Missouri are the 4 states who have decided to do absolutely nothing. Take that information, whatever. I'm not trying to speculate as to why.
So they haven't closed their schools.
No, haven't made any attempts to do that. West Virginia is still the only state that doesn't have a single case. And
as of now.
As of right now. Well, I mean, in Oregon, there's been only 2 or 3 new cases in the last week. Mm-hmm. So the apocalypse is definitely not what I was expecting. So here's my advice to people. Be clean, relax, consolidate your shit, and call your friends and ask them to help.
Yeah, just make sure your neighbors are okay too. Don't be afraid of your neighbors, please.
Yep.
If you like your neighbors, you should knock on their door and let them know that you're okay, and that if they need anything, you're there for them.
Great advice. Great advice. Speaking of neighbors, I'm gonna jump to another subject here really quick. James, your cars were broken into.
Yeah.
Two nights ago. Up in White Salmon, right off a Jewett.
Yeah, interesting time.
What the fuck is wrong with people, man?
Somebody got in my car and stole my Bluetooth and just a set of keys, so I had to change the locks on my house and stuff yesterday, which is... It's always fun to do in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, my neighbors are scary now. No, they're not. It's probably just some neighborhood kid that thought he'd take advantage of the hysteria or whatever.
It's the same kid who stole your disc golf basket.
Probably. We talked about that a long time ago.
Yeah.
You can go back and look it up if you want to.
Yeah, that happened. It's true.
Don't do it.
So there's been multiple thefts on this same area, which leads you to believe. I'm not a detective.
It's been a couple years, though, so I thought I was good.
I'm not a detective, but I don't think somebody's traveling to commit those crimes. So
it's a neighborhood kid.
It's someone on foot. Yeah.
Some tweaker that, thinks he's going to be able to sell shit at the pawn shop.
We don't have a pawn shop.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
We need a pawn shop.
Yeah, we got a lot of tweakers. That's a good opportunity for somebody after this is all over. Bingen desperately needs a pawn shop for all its tweakers. So invest now, people, because the time is right.
You know what's funny actually is, and that was a funny joke, but at this point in time, I've been in Bingen for 5 years now. It's a great neighborhood. It really is. It's kind of the people, like, it's in this limbo period. I call it limbo because it's going to go one way or the other, which means gentrification's coming. Right. So the in between though is just working class people. There's just lots of restaurant workers, servers, small business owners and shit that live in Bingen. Like, if you go eat at El Recon, that's everybody in there is really friendly, and only locals eat there. I mean, not only, but you know what I mean. Like,
I do.
You'll see everyone you know anytime you go there. You'll see lots of people you know. Because anyway, great town, nice people. Not as many tweakers as there used to be.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
I know, but it's funny because
that's click-a-tat.
That is the history of this town. Let's face it. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed that much. They're still here.
They're just pushed out to Lyle now.
They're just remodeling their houses with their teeth right now, or whatever they do.
So I have something here that was interesting. I heard this yesterday that in Europe, Rolls-Royce is making medical supplies.
That makes sense.
And that's kind of like...
Any industry that can move their production from one thing to something useful right now is probably a great idea.
That's a completely different way to look at it. I like that. I was mentioning that because it's very reminiscent of what we learned about World War II and how, like, manufacturing shifted to support the war, or not to aid the war.
The war effort.
Yeah. So, like, car manufacturers switched to manufacturing military.
Like, everyone
equipment
turned in their anything made of iron or copper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. So apparently, it's like a huge problem over there. This virus. There's so much misinformation and such a huge lack of information.
Right.
I think we all wish we knew more. Like,
it feels like everything comes in a week after it should have. All the information that we get from the news and the media is like, it's like they don't want don't want people to panic, so they don't tell you the truth. And then when it comes out, it's like, well, we could have done something back then.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just getting ahead of the game, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's also new, right? It's uncharted waters.
Uncharted waters, for sure.
For everybody, right? This is new for everybody. Nobody's dealt with this. Like, there's no generation alive.
Well, not on a global scale, no.
Right.
Countries have done stuff like this and come out all right.
What do you mean? Done stuff like what?
Well, like SARS and MERS and
right.
Ebola.
Right.
Like there's a lot of things that have come and gone.
Dude, I was
people can get a grip on it. It just takes some time. But it's just, gather the information and then use it.
Good point. I remember in the 90s, I, as a teenager, was absolutely fucking terrified of Ebola. Do you remember that shit?
It didn't grip me. The fear didn't get me.
But you hear what Ebola does to you.
Yes.
And it's the same thing like with you and me and what we've done.
Well, there was the hantavirus.
I was just about to say, the hantavirus is something you and me have.
You don't even hear about that anymore.
I know. And the name is terrifying. It's fucking hantavirus. Like, that's just fucking creepy, man. I seen this meme before, and I just wanted to tell you because it's relative and it's hilarious. And it says, when I was a young kid, I thought quicksand was a way bigger problem than it turned out to be.
I remember
when I got older.
Like I've never even seen quicksand.
Exactly. You think it's this fucking...
Like every time you walk in the woods, you got to watch out for quicksand.
Yeah, like it's going to be a huge problem in your life. Anyway, I was saying that, like, that's how I felt about Ebola when I was a teenager. Like, and my buddy Dre, he, like, was always just drilling this on me and the band I played in with him. Like, dude, Ebola, bro, it's going to kill the world, It's weird to think that was 25 years ago, and here we are. We're still doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
We're still, like, terrified of the latest bug, right?
Well, I mean, the more that this becomes common, it's not going to change. Like, people are just going to have to find new ways of interacting and slough off some of the less, some of the things that don't make any sense. Like,
but what about
maybe don't? Hey, France, quit kissing each other so much, you fucks. Like, it's not necessary.
Wait a second, though. The origins, though, come from dirty. And I say that because it's broad. I mean, cleanliness is what keeps things like this under control.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, meaning just all over the world. That's why we wash our hands and we leave a bathroom anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
it used to be poop. So you had to worry about getting poop on your hands. So
what I'm saying is where this originated, Wuhan is where it's believed to have originated. Comes from a
best. Oh, by the way, best bat soup anywhere in the world.
It's delicious. But my point is, like, viruses thrive in environments that are not clean. Mm-hmm. So I was just saying, like,
not clean, humid. Like, there's some like things that can spin things out of control. If it's like the what do you call it? The perfect storm.
Right. So that's what I was trying to say. Is like the real battle in the future is just promoting cleanliness all the way around. Something people like you and me do every day, and entire societies don't even think about.
Yeah, a little bit of OCD has done me well in my life so far.
I'd say.
But now it's like, hey, everyone's on board.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it. I'm not going to change a thing.
Yeah, my wife, she's a school teacher. Like, we're very...
Yeah, I have a kid, so it's like if there's anything going around, we're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, I've gotten norovirus from your kid twice.
Right, I'm sure.
Thank you. That's actual truth.
How do you figure?
Like, you don't remember? Okay, one time she had it, and you and me and her hung out. I got it the next day. Yeah, and it happened.
That's quick.
It was quick.
Did she barf on you or something?
I don't know. I get that norovirus. I've had it. Yeah, I've had it quite a few times. And the last 2 times I had it, you told me Charlie had it, like right after
I don't know if I knew she had neuro, but she had whatever she had. You got.
Well, the last time,
your wife works at a school too. Like,
I was
she's
just
around
saying
all, like
that's what I was saying. That the first time she wasn't working there.
It's like you've made out with every single kid in that school.
He's like mad at me right now because I accused him of his daughter giving me norovirus. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's not that weird, and I wasn't.
It's fine.
Yeah, and I wasn't even.
I'm actually fine with it.
Yeah, I wasn't mad about it either. I was like, I was doing the process of elimination. I'm like, oh, I was with Charlie. Now I have norovirus. She's at a school. I don't know. I put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Schools are cesspools. They always have been.
Exactly. That's why I started, because you were saying you have a kid. Mm-hmm. Whatever's going around, you always
it's coming through. Just get ready. Yeah, most parents we're all privy to that, and you just sort of expect to get a couple of colds or a flu every year just from being around whatever your kids are around. So
yeah.
So this is different. This is like maybe we should wash our hands a little bit more, because kids don't do that. That's my point. We are already on board with this, but it's just getting your kids to start giving a shit too is a big deal. Like when I go out in public and I see kids coughing and sneezing and they're not covering up, like that's their parents. Their parents need to tell them, like, hey, it's no big deal. You don't need to be nervous or feel bad, but put your goddamn elbow over your mouth when you're coughing like everybody else. And if the parents don't tell them to do that, they're not going to. I don't know what my point is here, but
no, it's very interesting. I'm not a parent, so that was really interesting to me. Like I didn't even think about what the struggle is for parents. And
kids spread they don't really get it that bad. So if I was a kid, I probably wouldn't be all that concerned about it. If your parents aren't telling you to worry, you're like, you're not that worried. And you don't really want your kids to worry anyway. That's not healthy.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. So, at the end of this, or towards the end of this Apodcalypse Now podcast, I wanted to say and get your thoughts on this. I'm not an expert, and I got to say that every time I try to...
No way, dude.
Yeah. This economy will not recover from this in our lifetimes. Would you think that's... And when I say economy, hold on, I really want to hear your answer. But when I say economy, I don't mean markets. You know what I mean? I'm talking about communities, small businesses, workers.
The way that people store their wealth might change a little, I think. The things that people think of as valuable should be reassessed, maybe.
You saw that the price of gold was going down because of this, and silver. Did you notice that?
It's always seemed hyperinflated to me.
The price of it anyway?
Yeah.
Because its primary use isn't vanity anymore. It's electronics.
It's electronics, right? Which, Facebook is what started this whole narcissism loop that we're all on. So, you can blame gold for that, I guess.
Or us. I don't think Facebook is the problem. We're the problem.
Well, yeah. No, totally. It's just a platform for people to be like, look at me flex.
Look at me. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you're flexing.
Well, the way I'm looking at it is I'm thinking about like the people I've known personally in my life that I've worked with, like at Solstice. Like, I know what these guys make, and I know that it's not enough to even survive. That even goes for some of the highest paid cooks, even sous, even chefs. Mm-hmm. You and me both know this because we know how much it costs to live, and we know what that pays. These folks, the repercussions of this economy, where we're going with it, like, I just can't visualize what my community is going to be like in a year.
Well, we've already not
are we going to have
keep up with inflation for the last 20 years. Like
what about I'm just saying, like, the little stores in town, like even like G. Willikers or whatever, like these little tiny shops in like towns, like, is that going to go away?
No.
Or is that like too dark of a imagination for a future?
I think that, I think personally that businesses that are operating super far in debt will probably have to shut down unless they can get a crazy amount of assistance or like write off all their debt. That would be the only way. But yeah, I mean, if you're already in debt and you can't be open for a couple of months, that's a pretty big deal.
It seems like even a week would be devastating. Like a
the cash flow stops coming in, you can't pay your bills. Or your employees. You're done.
You're done. And it's kind of like I was saying, we live in the gorge, so snowstorm closures happen, and it rattles the community with just a week.
For sure.
The wildfire
Oh, that was crazy too.
Closing the freeway rattled it seems
the
like
economy felt it, if that's what you're saying.
I'm saying it
affected everyone.
That it was a short period of time and it kind of exposed the volatility that was already there to begin with. So,
like when all of the businesses, they suffered because of they lost revenue. Like people weren't driving to Hood River because you couldn't drive through the fire to get here.
Right.
So a lot of businesses, they stayed open, but they were dead
inside. How long were those closures? I don't remember.
A couple weeks.
We all have short memories.
A couple weeks. You could drive. You could get here. It was just
14.
You had
to take 14.
Washington side,
but it still wasn't a pleasant drive. You didn't want to drive that with your kids. It was
you choke on smoke.
I drove it. My whole house smelled like smoke. I feel like it was longer than 2 weeks. The closure of the freeway.
Yeah, maybe.
See, I remember I worked at.
I left my notes at home, dude. Sorry.
I worked at Solstice at the time, and I remember the impact on business. And it seems like in my memory that it was longer than 2 weeks. But I don't know. I was comparing it to that because if it was already on the edge, this might be just enough to push it off, right?
Just what as a region? You mean like as a?
I mean, we're on
tourism.
Yes. I'm talking about just the economy, these businesses, these restaurants. How long can they go? If we have a gauge by the wildfire or by a snowstorm,
right?
And we kind of get a gauge of what happened during those things. If this is only day 3 of the ban, right?
If the rent relief and all that stuff they're talking about, like that's got to apply to businesses too. Because, they're the ones responsible for paying everybody.
Are you going to drink that whiskey?
We're not the only... No, I might have a little sip.
All right, here, let me get some of that. That'd be great. Thank you. I'm sorry I interrupted.
It's cool. You made me lose my train of thought. So I'm going to talk about something else.
No,
No, go ahead. What was it?
We were talking about the impact on local businesses and comparing it to the wildfire and the snow.
Right.
And yeah, you lost your train of thought.
I did.
I interrupted him because I'm an asshole.
Well, whiskey comes first, everybody.
He got one thing right.
Whoops. So, I think that one thing I wanted to mention. So I had a dermatology appointment in Vancouver this morning that I called and canceled. And the lady was like, "Any reason you're canceling?" I'm like, "Are you serious? Is there any way that the doctor could just do like talk to me over Skype or something?" She's like, "No, unfortunately, that's not legal. We can't do that." And I'm guessing it's because they wouldn't be able to charge me. But she said normally, it's 24 hours notice to cancel an appointment. And I'm like, well, these aren't normal times. And she's like, yeah, you're good. And she rescheduled me. And I made a point to be like, you were super nice. What's your name? And her name was, let's call her Bianca. And she said that, oh, it was really nice talking to you. You were the nicest person. You're the only person that's asked me how I was doing today so far. Oh. And it made me think, that matters. It really does.
It matters.
Like everyone's on edge, everyone's feeling stressed out, and everyone deserves to tell you how they feel. And you should ask people and talk to everyone around you. Don't be afraid to go to your neighbor's house and be like, hey, if you guys need anything, we're golden. Please, don't be afraid to ask.
That's great advice.
Try to smile if you can. If you guys remember how to smile, that's totally a thing still. We're allowed to do that. As hard as it is, it's in you. Trust me.
No, it's great that you mentioned that. So obviously grocery shopping has been stressful for everybody. And I noticed that the morning crowds at Rosar's
are nicer.
Super friendly.
Yeah.
Everybody's really smiley. Everybody's not like freaking out. They're like, whoa, that's crazy. But whatever.
Yeah.
Like moving on. There's plenty of food. Just sorry you can't get the loaf of bread you like is gone, but it'll be back.
Those of us that plan ahead a little bit already expect, you expect to go up against it when you go in there. It's like develop your plan and just stick to it. Do the best you can. And I'm guessing your neighbors are nicer than you think if you need anything. Seriously.
Right. So I got a song here. I'll play it.
Okay.
It goes, Well, I tried to put it down, I tried to stay away. I've seen it all before anyway. Well, I said I'd hang it up, yeah, I said I'd walk away. I've seen it all before anyway. But here I am, once again, wide awake and confused at 2 a.m. Breathing out and breathing in, breathing out and breathing in. You can see me play that song with the West Goats as soon as people gather again. And you can see James do comedy, stand-up.
Every other Wednesday at the Elks in Hood River.
As soon as we can gather again.
But we're going to keep writing and making stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm recording right now. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to be so overwhelmed with material. It's ridiculous.
And you're going to need it. We're all going to need it. You got any jokes you want to drop right now?
Not exactly. I was thinking maybe, maybe if we do this again, I could just for fun play one of my resets I've had recorded or something like that.
Why not just do a bit like right now? Don't you have like even one joke? Drop one joke.
Okay.
All right.
This is my favorite joke at the moment.
Perfect. That's the best kind.
So, here we go. So recently, the NAACP sued Arnold Schwarzenegger for all the N's in his name. Now, they're the triple NAACP, and he's just Harold Schwarzenegger.
That's so stupid and so brilliant.
And they were so emboldened by their victory that they sued the NCAA for all the letters in their name, and they won. So now they're the quadruple N, quadruple C, double P, A, and the NCAA has to pay its players.
Damn, man, that took some practice.
Fuck, yeah, that's a rough one. But it's my favorite.
No, that's good.
I'm working on it.
I love the play.
It's a work in progress.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember the movie Loaded Weapon with Samuel L. Jackson and Emilio Estevez?
How could I forget?
Such a great movie. And I'm probably not quoting this directly, but it's he's like, the CIA gave us his MO, so we put out an APB or whatever. It was like this long ass fucking shit. What are those called, by the way? Is that that's not an acronym. What is it when it's an abbreviation like that? FBI. Like, what is that? What is an
acronym?
No, like what is it called?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
you're putting me on the spot here, dude.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like when you
there's people like if somebody's watching this, they're shouting it at their stupid computer right now. Fucking idiots.
You know what I'm saying? The FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? Like it's what's the word that describes how you
the letters anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that was really funny. The N say double P blah blah blah. Like
so many.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. All right, cool. Are we done? Is
yeah.
everybody good? You're gonna survive the apocalypse, and if you're scared, we'll be back. We'll be doing another one.
Maybe we'll wait a couple days, few days.
We'll comfort you.
Yeah.
With
our beautiful, beautiful voices.
Yes.
Hey.
Sweaty balls.
Ew.
So I had Liz come in here just to sit here to make sure the camera was lined up, and that's the first thing she did was the whole NPR
sweaty balls.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. That was really